So let's talk about transformational leadership. And look, transformational leadership is about the idea that leaders can transform organizations and followers. It really grew out of first the idea of charismatic leadership, which Dr. Max Weber came up with this idea in like the 1920s, talking about leaders whose charisma really helped them to gain a special influence over their followers and then could be transformative in their leadership. As scholars started to look into this more deeply, they went beyond charisma to suggest some other things that went into being a transformational leader. And what they really meant was this idea of being that above and beyond leader, that very special leader who's able to change things. The original people behind transformational leadership really looked at people like Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., and people who really were able to bring about large transformations and to be truly great leaders. Upon further research, they broke down transformational leadership into what we now call the 4 I's of transformational leadership. That is idealized influence, individual consideration, special attention to followers as individuals, inspirational motivation, and intellectual stimulation. Let's talk about what we mean by each of those. So, idealized influence is about being larger than life, being perceived by others as being something special. Again, it's that idealized influence. You influence by virtue of the fact that people view you as the ideal leader. To get there, leaders who have idealized influence, they make sacrifices and they show confidence. This is sometimes why confidence is seen as so important for leaders, because it helps people to match their ideal of a leader who they see as being strong and confident with the leader. And so sometimes that's a part of it, is showing confidence. About being willing to share the risk with followers. Leading from the front is an example of this, where we expect our leaders to take on the same dangers that we do and to get in the trenches with us. This is part of that idealized influence, of being consistent, of having high moral and ethical standards. These are the things that we expect of our leaders. And so leaders who kind of go above and beyond on being very prototypical of what we expect of leadership, being strong and confident and sharing the risk and getting their hands dirty and being like perfect specimens of ethicality and morality. These are our idealized leaders, people who are almost superhuman and beyond our idea of what a leader should be. So that's the first piece. Our leaders are people who are special when we think of them as transformational. But then on the other hand, they treat us and their individual followers as special in our own right. Individualized consideration means paying special attention to followers as individuals, understanding that different followers have different needs and interacting with them on a personal basis. This goes back to, if anybody who was around when President Bill Clinton was the president, people used to talk about him as the kind of person who, when he said, "I feel your pain," and it almost became a joke about him saying this, people truly felt it. And if they were in the room with him, people described that I felt like he was talking to me and that he really did feel my pain. And this is what it means to have that individualized consideration, that you truly understand each subordinate as an individual, not as a group of followers. And you're able to tailor your behavior to those individuals. So think about the effects that this then has on followers. Followers of transformational leaders view their leaders as special. And then that special person treats the followers individually as special themselves. That makes the followers feel like they are part of this and they are part of this special moment. Now, inspirational motivation. This is the idea of motivating people through inspiration, not through incentives, not by just telling people what to do, but by truly being inspirational, to laying out a vision of what could be, of providing symbols about that vision, and having a vision that speaks to the pre-existing values of the followers and their attitudes. It's not enough to just say we should do something different, but to show what could be and what hope that there is. Again, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech is a brilliant example of this inspirational motivation, where he lays out this vision, this beautiful, hopeful vision for a people in crisis, of what not we need things to be better, and here's all the steps that we're going to take to do it, but really getting to this core of this is where we are, these are the bad things that are, but this is what could be, and this is the hope that I am giving to you. So now you have a leader who is the ideal, the prototypical leader, and is able to influence through that idealization, who treats their followers as individuals, as special individuals, and then inspires them in order to motivate them. And then the last I of transformational leadership is this intellectual stimulation, engaging followers, asking them questions, helping them to think differently, to be innovative and think outside the box, and not just looking for staid solutions. When you combine these four I's together, you get what we come to understand as these transformational or very special leaders. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to watch a clip from the movie Braveheart, in which we will see William Wallace as this transformational type leader, as an illustration of these four I's.